something really tasty for lunch. I wonder if any of you have done any of those elephant pictures we were talking about this morning. If you have, ask your grown-ups to send me a picture because I would really like to see them. Well, this afternoon we are going to be doing something with water again. And I've got myself a little bowl with water here ready. Now, do you remember in our story about the little raindrop? He was going along in a river. And he talked about children who popped things into the river and they were floating on the top. He said, sometimes laughing children would race sticks in the water and little Raindrop would chase them under bridges, dodging the swirling grass and the fluttering leaves. And I was looking at these leaves and these sticks and I was thinking about how they were floating on the water. And it made me think that we could find out about floating and we could find out about sinking. Now, if something floats in the water, it means that it stays on the top or just underneath the top, but it doesn't go down to the bottom. If something sinks in the water, it goes right the way down and lands right at the bottom of our bowl. So I would like you, in a minute with your grown-ups, to go and find 10 things from around your house, and we're going to see whether they float or whether they sink. Make sure they're waterproof, okay? Right, off you go. Pause the video now and come back to me when you've got your 10 things and you've got a bowl with some water in, ready to do your experiment, okay? Pause the video now. Okay, great. So you're back and you have collected your things and you've got your bowl of water. I'm going to go and get mine then, just on the side over here. Okay, so before I put any of my things that I've collected into the water, I'm going to have a chat with you about them. And you can do the same with your grown-ups when it's your turn. And I want you to have a think whether they are going to float or whether they are going to sink. Now, sometimes things can give you a little clue. If they feel light, if they feel heavy, if they have air inside them. So have a chat with your grown-ups and see if you know whether they're going to float or sink. So here I have got an apple. Wonder whether you think this is going to float or sink. What do you think? Doesn't matter if you get it wrong. We're having a go, aren't we? I think the apple is going to sink. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. If you have a look, my apple isn't touching the bottom of my bowl. In fact, some of it's poking out at the top, so my apple is actually floating. I wonder if you could have a chat with your grown-ups and find out why this apple that's quite heavy is floating on top of the water. Okay, oh, it's Christian's Nerf gun bullet. What do we think? Is this going to float or sink? I think it's going to float. It's very light and it feels like there's lots of air in it. Let's see if I'm right. Can you see? Is it floating or sinking? It's floating on the top. I was right about that one. I'll put that with my apple because they both float. Right, now here is a magnet. It's made of metal, feels very heavy. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen to this. What do you think? I think it might sink. Let me see. I'll put it in carefully. Oh! Did you hear that? Definitely sunk. My hand in. Oh! There we go. So we were right about this. The magnet sinks. So I'm going to put my magnet there. So I've got a pile for my things that float and a pile for my things that sink. So I'm going to carry on doing mine now. You see if you can find your things, see if they sink and float, and let me know how you've got on. You could even do a drawing of them if you want to. Okay, well that's it for this afternoon. So enjoy the rest of your day, have lots of fun with your grown-ups, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.